coach, a consultant, or any kind of service provider right now, you have heard this objection. You get to the discovery call, you've done your homework, you know exactly what is broken in their business, and you know how to fix it. And then they say it. We are actually looking at some AI tools that might handle this for us. And just like that, you are not in a sales conversation anymore. You are in a debate about whether you are worth more than a software subscription. Most people lose that debate, not because they're not good at what they do, because they're fighting the wrong battle. You do not beat AI by being better than AI. You beat it by showing the client something the tool will never show them. The gap between where they are now and where they need to go, and the specific cost of leaving it open. Today, we are running two scenarios, two different objections, two different consultants. One of them handles it wrong first, then we stop the tape and fix it. By the end of this, you will have the exact language to use the next time a prospect tells you they are just going to use a tool instead. So listen, this is real sales questions, real sales scenarios, but anonymous voices. Every week, founders and sellers submit their toughest sales objections to me. The ones they are frankly just too embarrassed to ask out loud. The ones that they've been losing deals for over months. So we built this model. AI voices, real situations, and me stopping the tape to break down exactly what went wrong and how to fix it. We have no names, no faces, just the honest, ugly truth about what is actually happening in your sales conversations right now. This is Revenue Rascal's AI Sales Roleplay. All right, so we have scenario number one. I like to call this the we'll just automate outreach kind of founder. All right, so here's the deal. The founder, SaaS company, 18 months into the business. Pipeline is thin and patience is, well, thinner. He just discovered AI outreach tools and now he thinks he found the cheat code. His tech stack has more logins though than his team has leads. This is not anti-sales. He is anti anything that costs money when a subscription exists. He will tell you what he paid for the tool before you finish your first sentence.
Marcus, based on what you shared about your close rate and average contract value, the math says there is a real gap between where you are and where you need to be. I want to walk you through how we would build the system to close it.
Yeah, I hear you. But honestly, I just signed up for an AI SDR platform. Sends 10,000 emails a month for $500. That is basically what you were describing, right? At a fraction of the cost.
Well, that landed. The objection sounds like a budget conversation. It is not a budget conversation. What Marcus is actually asking is, why do I need a human brain when a machine will do the work? The wrong move here is defending your rate against the tool's price. The moment you say, well, I do more than the software, you have accepted the comparison. You are now arguing about whether you are worth 10 times $500, right? You lose that argument every single time. So the reframe opportunity here is don't compare yourself to the tool. Compare the tool's current output to what the tool could be producing with a real system behind it. So say this, that tool is only as good as the strategy feeding it. Right now, you are scaling activity. What are you scaling it towards? One profound question, and that is all it takes to move off the feature and into the revenue architecture you can offer. So the principle here is AI scales what already exists. So it does not create what's missing.
That is a great tool. So walk me through your targeting. What does your ICP look like right now, and what is the message sequence hitting on?
I mean, we uploaded our customer list and told it to find similar companies. The message is pretty standard. Introduction, value prop, book a call. Why?
Got it. So right now you are sending 10,000 emails a month and your reply rate is what?
Like 0.3%.
So 30 replies. How many of those convert to a call?
Maybe 10.
And how many of those close?
1, sometimes 2.
Stop the tape. He just did the math out loud. He does not need you to convince him there is a problem. He just convinced himself. Now, the wrong move is to say, see, this is why you need me. That is the closer who pounces. That is not what builds trust. What builds trust is naming what you see without judgment, then connecting it back to the system. So say this, you are not getting a return on the tool because the tool does not have a strategy to execute. That is not a volume problem. This is an architecture problem. And that is exactly what we fix. You are not competing with the software. You are the reason the software works.
Marcus, the tool is doing its job. It is sending the volume. The gap is not activity. The gap is what is behind the activity. Your ICP is not sharp enough. Your message is not landing on the right pane. And there is no follow-up system working the replies that do come in. We fix those 3 things, and that same tool does not get you 1 deal a month. It gets you 4. And when you layer in a voice and text follow-up sequence plus digital retargeting on the warm traffic, that number moves again.
Okay, that is actually what I needed to hear. How does that work?
All right, scenario 2. The AI can do the analytics CEO. All right, so here is the client. Late stage startup, high churn, strong product, weak post-sale motion. Her board is asking hard questions about NRR. She has invested in a business intelligence platform that uses AI to surface insights. And she's convinced the data tells the story and the story tells the strategy. She is not wrong that the data matters, but she is very wrong about what to do with it.
Jennifer, what I am seeing from what you have shared is a retention problem that lives downstream of onboarding. The handoff between sales and customer success is where you are losing people. I can map the full motion and give you a system to fix it.
I appreciate that, but we already have an analytics platform that flags churn risk using AI. It tells us when an account is at risk before they leave. I am not sure what bringing in outside help adds that the dashboard does not already surface.
Stop the tape. This one stings a little more than the last because she is not wrong. The dashboard does flag risk. And what she is missing is the so what? The wrong move is to challenge the tool. Don't say, but what does your team do with those flags? That is a setup question and she will sense it. The move is to name what the tool cannot do. Say this, the platform tells you, a building is on fire. I am the architect who figures out why the wiring was wrong and what makes sure it never burns down again. Because this is the deal. She is buying fire alerts, and what she needs is a fire code. The principle here is that data identifies the problem, but strategy, you, solves it.
That tool is doing exactly what it should. The question I have is what happens after the flag? When the platform surfaces a high-risk account, what does your team do next?
They reach out, check in, try to understand what is going on.
And how is that working?
Honestly, hit or miss. Sometimes we save the account. A lot of times we are too late or we do not know what to say.
Right? Because the platform is giving you a symptom. It is not giving you a playbook. There is no alert system that tells your team how to have that conversation, what to offer, when to escalate, or how to rebuild trust with an account that has already gone cold. That is the gap. And that gap is costing you more every month than my fee.
I have not thought about it that way.
Stop the tape. She has not thought about it in that way because nobody has shown her the revenue map yet. This is where you pull it out. The revenue map is super simple. 3 columns, what the data shows, what's causing it, and what the fix looks like. The tool lives in column 1. You live in column 2 and 3. Once she sees that, the conversation completely changes from why do I need you to how fast can we start? Do not close before you draw the map. Show the work. It is absolutely critical. The principle here is that you're not selling services. You're showing them the gap that they cannot close without you.
Let me show you something. I want to pull up a quick visual. Here is where your revenue is right now. You are doing $1 million in ARR. At a 15% churn rate, you are losing $150,000 every single year. Not because your product is broken, because there is no system on the back end catching people before they leave. A 5% reduction in churn saves you $7,500 a month. Over 6 months, that is $45,000 in revenue you stopped losing. My fee is $10,000 a month. This engagement does not pay for itself on day 1. I am not going to tell you it does, but by month 14, it has paid for itself in full. In year 2, that same fix runs clean with nothing owed. That is the math. Does that change how you are looking at this?
Okay, let's talk about what this actually looks like.
All right, so let me show you the math that simply ends. We'll just use the AI tools conversation for good. Jennifer's business is doing $1 million a year in annual recurring revenue. Great job. However, at a 15% churn rate, she is losing $150,000 in recurring revenue every single year. Not because her product is bad, but because the post-sale motion is broken. And just simply a real conservative 5% reduction in churn, that is what we're solving for, not a moonshot fix, okay? 5% of the $150,000 is $7,500 per month saved. So over 6 months, that's $45,000 in revenue. She stopped bleeding. The consultant fee is $10K per month for 6 months, which is $60,000. So listen, this is the deal. The engagement's not going to pay for itself on day 1. Let's be honest about that. But here's the math that actually shows and sells. Year 1, $45,000 is recovered. Year 2, that same fix runs clean, another $45,000. No additional work. By month 14th of the engagement, it's paid for itself. And everything after that is margin. And listen, this is the deal. This is just the retention side. It does not count for the referrals that come from customers who are now happy and staying. It doesn't count for the expansion revenue from accounts when new logos are acquired. None of that is in here. So this is so conservative. The dashboard told Jennifer that she had a problem and nobody built her a system to fix it. So here is the line that you use in your next pitch, whether you're a fractional, a coach, a consultant, a service provider of any kind. And it's simply, I'm not asking for you to take my word for it. Let's look at what the problem is costing you right now and build the math together. Your fee cannot be a line item. It is a return on a gap that already exists. Every sales leader has good intentions of doing call review, but it actually never happens. You have this sense of guilt as your reps wait to get your feedback. So you randomly grab a 30-second snippet of a call and feel good about yourself. Yet it doesn't actually solve the problem. It just tells your reps you checked it off your to-do list. This was my life as a sales leader before I discovered Objectionly. Objectionly is an AI software that reviews every sales call to deliver the truth about why more dials aren't turning into set appointments and why more demos aren't ending in a lovely wire transfer. You can see each rep's biggest problems, the moments in every call that it happens, and immediately click into these moments to watch them. Get every sales call scored against your sales script to see what went wrong in every dial or closing call and what needs to be done differently to improve. No more sales call marathons late into the night when the numbers are bad to find the issue. No more asking sales reps what their problems are and getting opinions instead of facts. Just clear insights on how the team is doing in seconds without spending hours doing call review. Go ahead and cancel your 3-hour time block on your calendar for call review today, because in the next 5 minutes, you can upload a sales call and immediately see why your reps are losing easy to win deals. If you want this for your sales team, click below and watch a short 3-minute video on how it works and try it out on a free 14-day trial. All right, so here's the Rascal challenge. Here is what happens in both of these scenarios. The founder was not wrong about the tools. The tools are real, the tools work, the tools keep getting more and more powerful. What the tools cannot do: know your market, your buyer, your post-sale motion, your client's blind spots, or the specific sequence of moves that gets results in your category. It's not an automation. This is expertise that people are still paying for, even in an AI age. Marcus needs someone to show him why scaling bad habits faster is not a growth strategy. Jennifer needs someone to show her that an alert is not a plan. It does not matter if you're a fractional coach, consultant, strategist, call yourself whatever you want. What the client is actually buying is not your deliverable. They are buying a path to a number, the destination, not the plane. Stop defending your rate against software subscription. Start showing the gap between where they are and where the number lives. That is the close. And what's the toughest about we'll just use AI objection that you faced? Well, I'd love to know. Drop it in the comments. And if you're not comfortable sharing publicly, submit it anonymously at revenuerascals.com/listen. Sign up there to join our monthly group calls, attend live, or drop your scenario into the form. We will role play it with the AI voices and protect your identity. Thanks for listening to Revenue Rascals, where we turn bold ideas into predictable revenue and prove that breaking the rules can still build empires. If you love what you heard, do me a favor. Tap the links in the show notes to support our sponsors. They're the ones keeping this show free so I can keep ungating the 6-figure strategies that help you scale faster, lead smarter, and take more freedom home with you. And hey, if you think you'd make an incredible guest or know someone who's built something worth studying, email me at hello@michelleterpster.com. And until next time, stay sharp, stay bold, and stay just a little bit rascal.